welcome to Podcast vs. Play, episode 193. I'm one of your hosts, Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man who has a chicken-proof lawn. It's impeccable. It's only bloody Dan. Oh, we had a different one. Was that a war
I was just going for a single gun this time.
Oh.
No, that's a war pistol.
That's a gift, that's what that is.
Or this is a potato gun, obviously, which is...
like a spud gun. We've got so many gifts. We've only just started.
So many guns. Oh, mate, wait until we get to, like, machine guns and stuff. Oh, that's going
to be mental.
Take your breath away.
I think it might do. How
it's going to shoot you in the lungs.
Whoa, that got dark quick.
Thanks.
It's fading. Anyway, I just want to say, Dan, I'm very much looking forward to today's podcast.
Okay.
I've got it all pent up inside me because we've got no news. I mean, there's plenty of news, but we're not going to talk about any of it.
Well, Callum, I feel that there's three things that we need to talk about today. However, what order are we going to be doing them in?
Snyder.
No. I'd say that's your headliner. That's your headliner.
Falcon?
So we've got Falcon, and then we've also got EA Play, finally, coming to Game Pass on PC. So that's somewhat gaming related. So
I'd say we start with Game Pass. EA Play. It's the lesser of the exciting news. It's good news, though.
But it's still quite exciting news, though, Callum, because there's about 80, if not more, titles that have now been added to Game Pass for PC.
I believe it's 90, I believe. At least that's what it is on Xbox.
Well, as always, PC doesn't seem to get quite as much as Xbox, which is... There's always more availability on console than there seems to be on PC.
Seems to have been less issues as well.
Yeah, I had an absolute shithole of a couple of days trying to get it sorted. For some reason, it just did not want to sync with my normal Game Pass account, which is just an absolute pain in the arse.
It didn't help they'd already made it an absolute ball ache to do. Like I said...
Yeah, you couldn't just click on it and click install and that's it.
Yeah, that's literally all it is on Xbox. You go to it, and then the first time you do it, it's like if you got an EA account, and you go, yeah or no, whatever. Sign in, that's it. And it's all together, it's all with Game Pass stuff. And then you just go, I'm going to play Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, I had to have a discussion with both Microsoft and with EA to try and figure out what the fuck the problem was.
Numerous people.
And numerous people within both areas, unfortunately. And the conclusion that we got from it was make a new account, which I did. So I've got to wait now 6 months before I can sync up the EA account with my Game Pass account. It's not really that big of a deal because, like, games that I physically bought through Origin, I've still got access to them. My Origin launcher still works as normal. It's just now if I get rid of this account with EA Desktop or whatever it's called, it's just called EA Desktop.
Yeah.
And revert back to my original one, so it's all just under one account. I will probably lose all of the data,
all your game files,
progress,
saves, and everything.
So it looks like I might just be stuck with 2 accounts for EA for some fucking stupid reason.
But as long as obviously your Origin account's already signed in on that. So if you play anything through Origin, it'll automatically be that. Play anything through EA Play, it'll automatically be the other one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it is a bit of a dickhole that you've got to install it, but it won't just install it through Game Pass. It does it through desktop, and then that syncs. I'm assuming it's got something to do with the fact that it's because it's like a subscription service.
I mean, potentially, but why doesn't it do that on the Xbox?
I don't know. Maybe because there are, like, on PC, there are specific launchers. Whereas on Xbox, it all runs through one thing. So
I've got a feeling it's to do with Origin rather than
it'll be EA's fault. Of course, it will.
Yeah, same as everything else they do.
Well, I mean, so I've got there's only 3 things that instantly sort of caught my eye that I don't already own through Origin. like Mass Effect and Star Wars. Obviously, I've got all of those already, but Titanfall 2, because we played a bit of Titanfall 1, I want to say, back in the day.
We both did the beta for Titanfall 1, and then I got it for I want to say PS Plus. I got it for free, and I got Titanfall 2 as well later on in the day. I enjoyed it. The campaign is excellent, but far too short. But again,
well, I've already completed it.
Yeah, and you only got it today. So
no, Saturday. I think that's the day that it actually started working. Oh. So, but I've also been playing the campaign for Hardline, and I completed Doom Eternal, and I also started playing Burnout Paradise as well. Quite boring, actually. I love the Burnout franchise, and it's just driving in a big circle.
I think it just basically died on its arse after, which was the PS3 one.
There was 1, 2, and 3.
That was Paradise, wasn't it?
No, because this is a remaster. This isn't like a new one.
Yeah,
so it was remastered in 2018. So it's probably that one, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a remaster of the PS3 original launch. Not a launch title, sorry. But I enjoyed it, but it hadn't got the same oomph as old Burnout. Potentially, because back when Burnout came out, there was nothing really like it.
Well, and then Split Second came out, and it's like, oh, that's how it's supposed to be. Okay. But I don't know, maybe we'll get to it. It's online still, I think, so we could do a bit of driving around, a bit of smashing up.
I'm assuming we'll run out of stuff before long with it. I mean, because in all fairness, like say, all the big hitters, so Fallen Order and stuff, we've already gotten finished and completed. So there's no, unless I did install it, but I've only installed it on PC to see if I can use mods on it, because I really want to play as the Mandalorian.
The Fallen Order?
Yeah. Have you not seen the Mandalorian mods and stuff? You can play as Revan and everything.
Okay, well, Revan sounds cool.
Yeah.
I don't know, I might give that a crack then, if that's the case. Because there's not much replayability. Well, I mean, there is, I suppose, for a second run through, if there's a New Game Plus option.
Unfortunately for me, I had it on PS4, so I will be starting from scratch. So, no New Game Plus or anything for me. But I have started playing Fallout 4 again. Again, with mods.
Yeah, there's a few that you do want to sort of like, I've gotten used to them now, like certain weapons and just how certain things work. It is better with the mods on. So it's been a while since I've had a go on that, though, to be fair. I don't think I've got it installed anymore.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I've played Fallout 4 numerous times, different play styles and stuff. But
it could just be a case of, like, with Bethesda adding some of their titles. Obviously, again, the majority of the ones that you're into, you've already got.
Yeah.
So I don't think there was anything other than Doom Eternal.
Evil Within.
But the reason I didn't get Doom Eternal was because I knew that this was coming up. So I was like, I'll wait. I mean, no major rush for it. Fuck, it's hard. It's
super hard, mate.
Unsurprisingly, it's very hard. But I think that because I've done so much dooming now, that when I started playing the online, that's what I'm calling it. I did the campaign for Titanfall, and then went straight into the multiplayer for Titanfall 2. And I'm getting much better at it. Like sort of like just quick aiming and stuff like that. And I think it's because Doom sort of puts you on edge. That if you're not completely 100% in the zone, you're going to get completely fucked over. So I'm quite looking forward to. But that's what I mean though. So what you've already, odds are, if you're into games that they make, you've probably already got them. But it's more for the future. So what's coming out? What are you going to get? What would come sort of day one?
Plants vs Zombies.
There's a bunch of those on there still somehow. Is that still popular?
I'm assuming so. They had a new one not too long ago. I've been playing them with Logan a lot. It's fine. It's free. Okay, you can't complain in any way whatsoever.
I agree. Like this subscription service, they are absolutely just dragging out how much you can actually get from that few quid a month.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I think even with that EA Play, Game Pass is like tremendous value for money.
Now they're just adding to it.
Yeah,
now they're showing off, if anything.
I would say so. However, not to go up. This is still relevant to Game Pass. as you know, my PS5 came on Saturday, so I was very happy. Finally. And there's if you're a PS Plus member on PS5, you get access to the PlayStation Plus collection, so you can download and play on your PS5 like Uncharted, God of War. There's quite a few like Resident Evil and Ratchet and Clank and like basically all the big name stuff.
Sure.
And it made me think, if Sony ever did do their own version of Game Pass, it would be tremendous. It really would. I know they've got PlayStation Now, like the streaming service. It's not really the same kind of thing as Game Pass, but like just having this I think it's about 20 titles, I think. Oh, I started playing Days Gone yesterday because I never played it when it came out.
Oh, the motorcycle zombie, whatever it is.
It's alright.
That's coming out on PC soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that might show up on Game Pass at some point.
Won't be on Game Pass, it'll be on Steam, won't it? It's
I don't know,
it's still Sony. It's a Sony studio.
Yeah. Oh, that's true, yeah.
Unless Microsoft buys Sony.
They've just spent a ridiculous amount of money on fucking Bethesda. They haven't got that money to...
billion.
Yeah, it's crazy money.
But hopefully worth it.
Well, so far it seems to be. Like, the more people that they can get in on this subscription base. I was having to think about this the other day, right? So if you went to Sony and said all of the previous Naughty Dog titles that have come out, you know, all of your Uncharted's, any previous God of Wars, whatever, we want to make them available to people on Game Pass. So in order for that deal to happen, this is what we're willing to put on the table. So we want all of not the new stuff, so maybe up to The Last of Us. So maybe not God of War, maybe not Last of Us 2, but, you know, whatever. But, you know, get that back catalogue. We will allow you, like, the new Elder Scrolls, the new Fallouts, the new Wolfensteins on PlayStation. Trade. I haven't fucking finished it. Will you shut up? So you can actually get those titles released on PlayStation, because at this point we're well within our rights to say no. Callum! Fingers on lips. There you go. And for bringing all those games over to Game Pass, will also give you like 10% of the subscriptions that we're getting every year. So for like the next 3 years, then sort of have another look at it maybe. Fingers off lips.
I like it. However, I don't think Fallout and Elder Scrolls and stuff I think they'll remain multi-format.
No, but like the 120 million that they can make each year for literally nothing. They have to do nothing to get that money.
I don't know. So I mean, Sony wouldn't budge on the fucking Fortnite crossplay.
Why? What were they looking for?
So Microsoft wanted multiplayer, like crossplay.
Oh, sorry, crossplay. Sorry, I thought you meant like titles.
No. And they were like, nope. We've got the biggest market share, so only you would benefit from it, really. And I mean, they caved in the end, but that was only down to probably like consumer. Like it was the first time in however many years where Sony looked like the bad guy, even though last generation Sony went to Microsoft with the exact same thing when it was PS3 and 360 and went, hey, let's do crossplay. You can play your Battlefields with your PlayStation mates and your Xbox mates, and they went, nah, fuck off. We got the biggest market share because it's business. But I get it, and I'm fortunate to be in a position where if they keep everything exclusive to Xbox, it's fine. I've got an Xbox. If it goes to PlayStation, I can get it on PlayStation. Obviously, PC sits in the middle of all of that. But I still don't think that Microsoft have got any games that's a fair trade. That 10% would be the biggest. Ooh, well, they might do it, but there's no like Wolfenstein's fantastic, and I fucking love it. It's not a PlayStation exclusive good though. Like the caliber of the PlayStation exclusives, especially like the Bethesda stuff. If I only had a PS5 and Microsoft said Skyrim and Fallout are going to be exclusive to Xbox, like you can't even get it on PC, I ain't going to buy an Xbox for it. If it's a toss up between that or the next God of War.
For Fallout, I don't know.
No, I love Fallout, and I genuinely do. But unless Microsoft go, you're not allowed to put out a Bethesda game anymore. Like what you've been doing the last however many years, it's got to be fucking finished. No bugs, no fucking old engine. It's got to be new and current. Here's the money.
And they went,
fucking
no, absolutely not. No, that's not how we work.
We're like the lovable rogues. Like
Everyone loves our
does it,
bugs.
and everyone loses their mind. But Bethesda, it's like, have you seen that meme with the monkey, like the toy monkey, where it's like giving like the side eye and then looks away?
Oh, yeah.
It was that, and it was people.
Oh, I think I know the one you mean, where it's just sort of like people like losing their shit at Cyberpunk because of all the bugs, and then underneath it's like Bethesda, like
there's that one, and then there was the one about GTA 5 coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox One Series X, and then it was like Bethesda and Skyrim, and they're like, it's on
that cash cow
now. It's on everything, absolutely everything. But I mean, I love Bethesda, and I love a lot of Bethesda titles, but caliber-wise, they're not. They cost the same
I suppose
money
the trade-off,
as AAA's, but
the trade-off would be you wouldn't get. So you'd get your sort of your God of War, your Last of Us, or whatever, but you'd be waiting 3 or 4 years between any of those coming out.
Yeah.
So if you got your, you've got your new Fallout titles, you've got any updates that come out for Fallout 76, new Wolfenstein, either whether that's another like a Youngblood sequel or a new Wolfenstein, so like Wolfenstein 3, a new Doom, a re-release of Skyrim, and the new, like a new Elder Scrolls or a new Skyrim. Like those would be a lot more spaced out. I think you'd get more.
yeah.
I think you get more releases, and then those are obviously games that you can put hundreds and hundreds of hours into because they're so big as well. So I don't know if it was a trade-off for me. I mean, I know that I don't have anything past a PlayStation 3 because I've had no interest in it. But I'm also not that gutted either. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure The Last of Us 2 is amazing. I'm sure that I played Spider-Man, PS4 Spider-Man, and that was amazing.
Excuse the pun.
Hey, but I just don't think that there's, for me at least, there's just that trade-off. It's just not big enough. Yeah. But I'd want the whole player base to be able to benefit from all of them, rather than just someone squirreling away. So things, especially if they're not going to re-release them for newer consoles. Then just say, well, let's just make the back catalogue available. We get some money and some extra games out of it that we can get money from or whatever. And plus, I don't know, because developers might be, well, if we don't have to develop anything for PlayStation, like Bethesda, they'll be like, well, that makes our lives a bit easier. Because now we only have to do it for Xbox and Xbox and PC, and that's it.
That would have been the case with the PS3 and everything, but I mean, both of those are just off-the-shelf PC parts, so they wouldn't. They're only going to make it. They're going to make it for this. I'm pointing. The camera can't see the PC, but they're going to make it for PC, and then not even downgrade it anymore. Like,
no, they're keeping up very much.
It's not a case of going, I need to make one for the PlayStation and we need to make a version for the Xbox. I mean, the Xbox would be the worst one because
the Cyberpunk problem.
Well, it's got to work on Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X, Xbox One Series S, Xbox One Series X. It's got to work for all of them until they decide to cut that cord and say, we're just going to focus on these two from now on. Whereas PlayStation have gone, get to the end of the year, then PS4's fucking dead to us. Let's just get everything
That's the Apple way, though, isn't it? It's just like as soon as there's a new model, that the previous one has got a very limited shelf life.
I will say though,
away from it.
I bought Miles Morales on Saturday. Obviously, I got the digital edition, and then lo and behold, I got the PS4 version as well. So I've put it on the PS4 version for Logan. On the PS4 version. On the PS4 for Logan.
Yeah,
so I got it on the PS5. But I think it's something like all of the games on PS4, there's like 8 that aren't backwards compatible. I think Hitman the sniper mission mini game thing. That's not. And like
it's like Hitman missions or something.
Yeah, it's like sniper challenge thing. And the rest of the games I've genuinely never heard of. But everything else is backwards compatible, and I was like, that's pretty cool. Although I was going through my library, and some of them have got like a lock on them. I'm like, well, I can't fucking play that. Like, that only came out like fucking last year, like Red Dead and stuff like that. That's got a lock on it and stuff. It's because I got the discs, Anna.
So you can't. If you've got the disc, that's it. Fuck off.
Yeah, I got the digital edition, didn't I? Hasn't got a disc drive. So I'd have to buy Red Dead again if I want to play it.
Wow. Fuck you, PlayStation.
I mean, it's not a massive
not that you should be playing Red Dead for the fucking PlayStation anyway.
No, I mean, I got it on PS5, PS5 on PC, so it's not the end of the world. But like God of War,
that's the primary one.
I wouldn't be able to play God of War if I hadn't got the digital version of it as well. So that's quite lucky if I want to play it again. But yeah, I mean, I love it. It's great. Controller's fantastic. Best controller I've ever used by far. Fucking love it. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. Falcon, unless you got anything else for EA.
No, I think it's like they need to fix the fucking. Like I know it's only in beta at the moment, but it's broken. It just doesn't work as it should do.
GamePass itself is still in beta according to the app.
But that at least I click on a thing, I installed it, and it works. It's not fucking rocket science, is it?
Its issues. Not to this
extent. True, but they've no, not to this extent. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that it'll be a bit more stable in the coming months, and hopefully there's some more new EA games, some more Star Wars properties that might be coming over as well.
That's a point, actually, Daniel. I'm at a conundrum.
Ooh.
So, Deathloop is timed exclusive for PlayStation 5, and I really want it. But it's most likely, once that timed exclusivity is finished, it'll be on Game Pass because it's Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
But I've just bought a PS5, so I need to buy a game.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But I really feel like I should.
No. Don't give any credence to this behaviour.
I really want
this timed exclusive nonsense.
I really want it.
No, you get it for free. You just got to wait a bit longer, that's all.
I'm going to have a look how it is. If it's like a year, I'm going to buy it.
Well, I did. I mean, to be fair, I can't really say much. I bought Battlefield 5 about 3 weeks before it came out on Game Pass, even though I knew it was going to come out on Game Pass, but it's because I was in the mood to shoot some Nazis. Then there weren't even any Nazis in it. If
that's true, we actually talked about that on the previous podcast.
Yeah, I was devastated.
If it's a few months, I'll wait.
Yeah.
If it's
a year,
I'm just gonna.
I'm with you there. I did the exact same thing. Yeah. If it's something I was super looking forward to, because if it's just sort of like, it seems like it could be interesting, but I'll wait until it's free. Like We Happy Few. Like I remember seeing that when that was sort of announced. I was like, oh, that seems like it's sort of an interesting kind of funky, weird,
I was
sort of like.
With it.
I never played it in the end, but
it's very good.
Now that it's on Game Pass, I'm just sort of like, I'll give it a go at some point.
That's when I played it on Game Pass, and it's very good, but it's what's the word for it? It's slow, and it's not very intuitive.
Right.
Like I had a real like BioShock vibe from the trailers and stuff.
Yeah, it seemed a bit BioShock, a bit Prey.
Yeah.
It seems.
But it's mostly just like running, hiding, talking. It's pretty much all you do, really. Very basic puzzles and stuff. It's good. It's worth a play. Like I say, I played it on Game Pass, so I didn't pay for the game.
Yeah,
itself.
but that's my point. Those I like the idea of those things, but then I'm just sort of like, if I know it's going to come out on a free service, I'll wait for it.
Yeah, 100%.
Then I can torture myself at that point if I'm just like, I can't believe I didn't pay for this. What a fucking idiot.
Yeah. I mean, you did it with Doom Eternal.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I was thinking about it. I didn't actually. Doom's not on there. Why is not Doom on there?
It was. Definitely was. Because that's how.
Well, it ain't anymore.
No, I didn't. I bought. I bought the first one.
No, I bought it on Steam. Yeah. But I never got around to completing it. But I think the reason that is because it was my old PC. and sort of like the fast motion and getting it look good. It wasn't really working too well.
Yeah.
And then Eternal obviously is just running at ultra, blasting through everything, and it's so good. It's so good. It's fucking mental. But
I do think I love it more because I didn't pay for it. Because I still got the same thought. I paid full price for Doom when it came out, and I got it on PS4. And I loved it. I think it was fucking excellent. But it's just there's nothing. There's no substance to it whatsoever. And as much as I enjoyed it, I wish I'd got it on sale or something like that.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I did get it on a sale. Honestly, I can't remember. It was years ago. It's like a 6-year-old game or something now. But I mean, having played Eternal and a lot of original Doom, actually, that brings me on to something. If you are familiar with the channel of youtube.com/podcast PC Player, there's a little plug for you. We will be doing a Doomage at some point this week. So we're going to be doing some original 1993 Doom with some Doom Eternal smushed together and see how they stack up.
Not like layered onto the same screen.
No, that'd be awkward.
Yeah.
But just sort of like, in 20 years, how far has it come? Well, almost 30 years. I actually pushed it now. Fucking hell.
Yeah, very much so, actually, yeah.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I'm playing a lot of original Doom. It's so good. I mean, it genuinely surprises me that it still holds up to the point where I'm just sort of playing it and it's like I go back in and just replay it. Like the music's amazing.
Duke Nukem I've done it with, but there's not really a better game to compare it to. You don't go like Doom and Doom Eternal. You go Duke Nukem and Duke Nukem.
And then Duke Nukem Forever.
Whatever the fucking hell it was.
Like gross.
We should do that.
Terrible.
We should do that.
Absolutely not.
We can
if they put it on Game Pass, I'll have a go at it, right? But if they don't, fuck it. I'm not paying for that shit.
I mean, nobody pays for Duke Nukem. They gave it away. I remember playing Bulletstorm with the promise that I could play as Duke Nukem, and it never happened. You can only play as him in the single player, not the co-op, which is why I originally wanted it for.
I want to say I've actually played that at some point.
Bulletstorm's not a bad game. It's like shit Doom, but open worldy. Not open worldy. That's a really poor term. It's not open world in the slightest. Ignore everything I just said.
I don't know. I can't. I think it showed up on something, and I meant to get it or something. I can't quite remember.
Of the trash can.
Probably. But I just remember having a great trailer. It's also sort of slow motion and.
It's not a bad game. It's not like the worst game I've ever played. And again, it was free on PS Plus, so I couldn't really argue with it. I could have just gone, no, I'm not going to play it. But I saw that you could play as Duke Nukem, so I said to my friend, download it, let's play it together. And you can't play as Duke Nukem in the co-op. So I
so you can only do it in the single player?
Yeah, so I just uninstalled it. Well, not playing it.
Wow.
It's not worth it. Anyway, more news. Disney Plus, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yep, now that WandaVision is wrapped up, and we didn't get a secret 10th episode.
There wasn't even a behind the scenes.
There was.
Not last week.
There actually was. Yeah, there was. I watched it. Well, I watched some of it, and I was just like, oh, I thought this might just be like, it's a how they make it sort of thing.
It wasn't on there when I looked.
I skipped through it because I was just saying, is this just a ploy? And there's actually an episode in there, and I couldn't see one, so I didn't bother.
You better not be lying to me, Dan.
Mate, I was watching it on Disney Plus. I promise you.
Honestly, I had a look on the Friday, and there was nothing on there.
It's not on the WandaVision playlist though. So if you look on WandaVision, it'll still say episodes 1 to 9. The 10th one was just like it was added on the Friday, but it was like a behind the scenes making of sort of thing. So it wasn't in the same WandaVision playlist.
Oh, so I went to extras. Oh, is it the behind the reel thing?
Something like that.
Like the Mandalorian one.
I figured as much, but it was still like an hour long, and I wasn't in the mood to. If it wasn't another episode, then I wasn't.
Just going to have a look, and I was like, no.
No, it's fine. It seems like it's going to be interesting, like sort of talking about the process or whatever. But
the Mandalorian one's really, really, really interesting.
Yeah, I know, because it's several episodes out, that wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
And
that
then
was
they did
just
another one for the following season.
Because I imagine they'll do, after Falcon and Winter Soldier's finished, they'll probably do one for that as well. But yeah, like totally, it's obviously for quite obvious reasons, it's very different from what we've seen so far. But
they put some money in it.
Yeah, man, that flying around, shooting helicopters down, and like Red Wings in there, just sort of like.
I mean,
it looks amazing.
The action scene that was really in it, barring another one, two maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Rhodey showing up in it though, just there was no pomp and circumstance or poise or build up towards that. It was just like, no, he's there.
Yeah,
because
as he would be, though. As he would.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
makes sense.
But then that makes me think that there are going to be some other Avengers in there, as obviously Sam is an Avenger.
I've got a feeling Hawkeye will. He's got his own show coming up.
I mean, with the addition of like the Hawkeye stuff for the Avengers game, like it seems that they're all pointing in the same kind of direction. But if they're doing a Hawkeye show, that's going to be a Kate Bishop build-up, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, we know he's in it, but I imagine it'll be him training her and stuff.
Probably.
To take on
yeah. Well, there's because I really like the fact that there's sort of like, yeah, you're not really like paid as an Avenger. Avenger isn't a job that you can just like apply for and get like a salary or something.
I took that in the same way but differently, just purely on the basis of Tony would have paid for everything.
Well, that's what I think. Yeah, is that you would go to work and you would have food, you would have equipment, you would have whatever you need, and you wouldn't have to pay for it.
A lot of them lived
but
in
you did get
Tower,
paid separately.
They lived there, didn't they?
Well, no, they had the compound.
They're in the
compound. They haven't had Stark Tower since
the compound. Sorry, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah. But like everything would just be taken care of there. Yeah. So he's now said, I don't know if he sort of stepped away from the whole I don't want to be an Avenger anymore, because now his sister's got like a shrimping boat that they want to keep or maybe not keep. And like I like the fact that they've just gone to, he's not like a world-ending Avenger, and he's incredible or whatever. He's still just down the docks and people are giving him guff about being Falcon and stuff like that. Like people know who he is. And like when he goes for the loan, it's just like, what? You Falcon? He's like, yeah, man.
My favourite thing about that entire scene is how realistic the bank was. They're like, you haven't had any credit for the last 5 years. He goes, yeah, because I was in the blip, I didn't exist. He was like, yeah, but we can't give you any credit. Like, but I wasn't fucking here. I didn't exist.
There's no blip insurance, is there?
But that's what a bank would do in real life.
Yeah, absolutely they would. And I think that also they went in with like, because I think that's what Sam's plan was. He was just like, look, we're black brother, black sister. We're going to go into a bank to see primarily probably white people. I'll use the Falcon Avengers, celebrity thing, and that will sort of score us some brownie points or whatever. And it does, but it's just sort of like, oh, that's cool. You're an Avenger. That's awesome. Take your shirt off so I can get pictures with you. But no, you're not. We're not going to. Even though we know you're an Avenger, and you've literally fought people to save the world. No, we're not going to give you like 20 grand or whatever to save your fucking boat. And it's just like it's really selling the harsh realities of just because you're an Avenger doesn't necessarily mean that
it's not like The Boys.
Yeah, like you've got like a corporate backing and sponsorship, and you've got to meet certain social media whatever.
I will say, I imagine The Boys is a more realistic premise of today's society, where it's not the fact that you've saved the world countless times. That's not the important factor. It's the fact that you're super popular, and we can get endorsements, and we can do this and we can do that with you. And I think that's what it would be like if the Avengers was real. But equally, that's so much what a bank would do in real life. I loved it because it was brilliant. But ain't he getting paid from these army contracts he's doing with the government?
I figured that's probably why he's doing it, because that's why I was thinking. I was like, why is he working with the Air Force? Like going after Batroc the Leaper?
Yeah.
like, hello, cameo. Like, you know, why is he taking sort of like mercenary work in essence? If he's still an Avenger, which makes me think that maybe he took the shield and then was just like, I'm just going to step back and you know, think out how I want to do this. But I'm going to keep the wings though. I'm keeping that shit. Maybe that's like your severance package. It's like, look, we're not going to pay you. We're not going to give you a pension.
Bet the worst.
But you keep your wings, mate. You'll have to pay for your own upkeep though. If you break them,
have to pay for your own fuel.
Yeah,
that's the point. What they fill them up with?
It'll be like Stark arc reactor technology or whatever. It'll be like, you'll never need to change the batteries on this ever. But if you damage it, unless you've got like the peeps to fix it for you.
Well, he could do it himself, can't he?
That's true. He's been shown to be fixing it.
Yeah. Which is really funny because I was watching an Avengers cartoon on Saturday morning with Logan, and Falcon was like, not on par with Tony, but like he was fixing up shit and doing hacking and all sorts. I was like, how long has he been able to do this?
Yeah, they don't really show that, but I think maybe this is where these TV shows are going to go. It's going to go more into the whole, you know, just because you're an Avenger doesn't mean that you're like a billionaire rock star. It's like you won't be leading the same lifestyle that your actor counterpart will. Yeah. So like your Robert Downey Jr. Like, I mean, you'll still get recognised and stuff like that, but people are sort of like,
you don't get the money.
Also, start half of this shit as well.
You broke
it's
a
kind
lot
of
of
your fault
buildings.
still.
Broke a lot of buildings.
Yeah, a lot of people did come back, but then also quite a lot of people didn't. Or the ones that did were in planes or whatever and just sort of fell out of the sky.
That's the worst one.
Coming back after 5 years and just...
Didn't they MacGuffin it? The Russo brothers, where they said when Hulk... when Tony did the snap, it was everyone came back safely.
Well, no, because Hulk brought everybody back.
Hulk, sorry. Everybody got brought back safely. So if they
they'd all have a parachute.
So they might have a parachute or they just appear below where they was.
But what if you were flying from London to Australia and then you like came back in Italy? Like you go...
You're in Italy then?
Well, I'm safe, sure. How the fuck do I get back from here, though?
I mean, the fact that you're not just like in...
I think I'd get over that fact very quickly.
Yeah. I'm back.
I'd be like, oh, well, yeah, I'm back. That's great. And 5 years has gone on.
It's okay. I'll just go to the bank and let them know what happened and they'll give you some money.
Yeah, my bank will sort me out. I've got a great policy with them. And they're like, oh, well, you haven't actually technically been alive for 5 years, so we closed your account. I'm like, what?
You haven't been paying your premiums. So
yeah, unbelievable.
Oh, I've lost GamePass.
I think it's a really good show so far. Like it
was very much a setup episode. Like the opening was real.
Oh
good. Yeah. The dream sequence with Bucky was pretty cool. As the only other.
Oh yeah.
Action
going back and killing that guy's kid. Yeah. So I like the fact. Right. So there's two things that I'm thinking from this. Right. From what I just sort of gleaned so far. Number one. The girl that Bucky went on like a little date with, whatever. She's not just some random person working in a restaurant. She's a something.
Yeah.
She's a baddie or a goodie or like an Agent Carter kind of thing or anything. Just like she's like, and also when there was Civil War and they were just like, oh, everyone bloody Winter Soldier's blown up a building in Stockholm or wherever it was.
Yeah.
Everyone get everyone looking for the Winter Soldier. Some guy like in a newspaper stand kiosk in like fucking hell, where was it? Like Belarus or something. Clocks in from across the road and he's like, "That's the Winter Soldier right there."
Get it?
And yet the old man that he's having dinner with every night apparently, and then a woman who sees them fairly regularly as she knows who they, or knows that they come in and get the usual. No one's recognised him. No one.
Apparently not.
I mean, I get it if they said like, look, mate, I know that you're a good guy now or whatever, but you still were a Hydra assassin for many, many years. So I still don't really like you or trust you that much. Like you are still kind of a bad guy.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of him dealing with all of that. But it seems like he's all right. He's just got mates now.
I mean, he's getting therapy and stuff, so
yeah, that's
obviously been going on for some while. But the only thing I can think of, which it's not a bad thing, but when he's got his little book and he's marking them off, just reminded me of My Name Is Earl for some reason.
Which has now appeared on Disney Plus.
Has it really?
Yeah, Woo! I spotted that the other day and I was like, bloody hell, that's a blast from the past. I haven't seen My Name Is Earl in 20 years.
I really enjoyed that when it was on.
Yeah, same. I'm genuinely... Once I've finished the X-Files, I think I'll start that, like, from scratch.
Yeah.
And get back through it, because I only watched that for a few seasons, probably out of order as well.
I definitely didn't watch it all. I watched I watched like every week or whatever when it was on. And then I just stopped watching. Same as Chuck. I really enjoyed Chuck.
Oh, I never watched it. No.
That is real good, but it was one of them that kind of stopped watching it for a few weeks and just never went back to it ever again. But very good good show. Recommend.
Well, the second thing that I get the impression of is the dude with the mask, with the hand face on the mask.
Yes,
that's the guy who's now been given the Captain America shield and
most
outfit.
likely.
Like I can't see it not being him.
The old man from Up.
Yeah, he looks so ridiculous in that outfit.
It's very obviously going to be US agent, isn't it? So
yeah, of course it is. But just get rid of the helmet. They can't have put it on and gone. It reminds me of someone. I can't think yet. It's just this little squishable bird face.
As they're flicking through the films on Disney Plus.
Yeah, and they went Up. Fucking hell, it's Carl from Up.
Sake.
God damn it. Well, it's going to be mean to hell.
Which is ironically your profile picture on Disney Plus as well.
Yeah. So let's just say it was US agent this whole time. And
yeah, we never realised. But it makes sense though, because this guy's clearly got powers and stuff. And
well, do you reckon he's sort of like it's going to go the way of like, maybe the super soldiers that Zemo shot, maybe there was another one, or he didn't kill one and they saved him and then brought him back and reprogrammed him. But then he's also,
because doesn't US agent get he's just a regular Joe for his first stint, and then he gets injured.
When he gets,
because I know at some point he gets it's not vibranium, so we just say metal, but he gets like a new skeleton and stuff because he gets all his bones broken and stuff.
Well, I thought he still got the serum, but it was the same kind of like Steve Rogers got it, and it was like it heightened who he was as well.
Yeah.
So because this guy, if it is him, obviously, if he's leading this like revolution, like people saying that I can't even quite remember what their goal was, but it's just sort of like it was
didn't really
the world was better when the world was better after the blip or something.
Something like that. Yeah. Like, it didn't go into specifics what the reasoning was or anything like that. Probably there's less queues. Yeah.
It's probably a queuing problem. Is that going to be his supervillain name, the Q-Master?
Could be. I mean, I'm not going to rule it out, Dan, because I don't know. But it would make sense because they were putting a very big emphasis on we need a new icon for America and blah blah blah.
I would have been fucking fuming if I was Sam.
Only.
I was just like, look, I was given the shield by Captain America, but I really thought about it and I wanted to spend time with my family. And clearly, he spent some real time pondering as to what he wants to do with it. Does he just keep it in a cupboard just in case or whatever? But he goes, no, this belongs where people can see it in the Captain America Museum. And then it seems like the next day they're just like, well, we've got a new Captain America, and here he is, some rando.
Immediately after he got rejected from the bank and stuff. So it's like...
Yeah, I'd be calling him up saying, guys, what the fuck? Like, you do realise that Steve Rogers gave that to me, right?
I'm assuming he's going to. I don't think it's just going to be let's leave it at that kind of thing. Because he doesn't deserve...
Oh, no,
Sam, like, I think he said like 2 or 3 times where he's like, doesn't fit, it feels like it belongs to somebody else. Doesn't belong to him. If anyone, it belongs to Falcon or Bucky, I suppose.
Or unless they do, like, instead of saying like, we've got a new Captain America who's going to lead the Avengers again and he's going to go around saving the world or whatever. Maybe if they just say, we're just going to use him like they did originally with Captain America. So he's just sort of like, he's just waving and,
Yeah, just boosting morale and...
Yeah, so he doesn't actually have any powers and he's just a stooge. But don't give him the shield then.
You could give him anything.
Give him a normal shield.
Bin lid.
Just don't give him the shield. Unless that could be just a very elaborate double bluff where in fact they haven't given him the shield. They've just given him a shield.
It'll be there. And
then someone steals that and then it turns out that it just goes like a bullet, just goes straight through it and kills him
immediately. I've got a feeling they're going to... I think it's going to be... I think the guy in a mask is US agent. And they'll probably end up putting the mask on just a rando. And then guy from Up will go batter him, show everyone that there's faith and stuff, even though it's him all along. That's what I suspect is going to happen. But
maybe. It's like there's certainly no elements of mystery or sort of like what ifs.
Yeah, it's not a WandaVision.
Because that was sort of like every week was just like, what is going on? This is like, oh, okay, well, who might we see? Is there going to be a sweet action sequence? Is War Machine going to come in and just shoot some motherfuckers? But I am annoyed though, which I'm okay with. Yeah, totally. I am annoyed though that there was only one episode.
Yeah, we had two for Wanda, didn't we?
Yeah, why? Is it because if you'd just got the first one of Wanda, you'd have gone, what is this?
Yeah, I do think Wanda was more of a, we've got to give them more than one.
You're not gonna get what's happening unless you have more than one.
This is very much paint by numbers Marvel, which is fine. I'm totally cool with that. But
I like the sort of like the Avengers behind the scenes kind of thing.
Yeah.
So sort of like through the keyhole of just like, you're not always living in a sweet mansion with tech and robots and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you need to try and get your family out of trouble. But it's not like he's come back and gone, I can't believe you're selling the boat. However, I'm going to go back to my big ass fucking
he's going to help him
compound and it's just like, no, I want to work the boat and just be a normal dude for a bit. Yeah. And that means that we're broke if I'm doing it. Also, why is there no like, what is in One Punch Man where there's like there's like a hero registry or something like that, so everyone like pays towards, like donates, and then that's
what he said, didn't he? He said there's a lot of the stuff just works on goodwill and whatnot. Yeah,
but I think that just means that like Stark still would have been, but why is there not like a Stark Foundation for the Avengers? So like in the event of his death, like all of the Avengers could still carry on avenging without someone like. Yes, I mean Pepper
Pepper could still do it.
She could carry on and sort of say, we still want the Avengers. We like the Avengers. We think they're a good idea.
That's the point, though. Why didn't Falcon just go to Pepper and go, can I borrow some money?
Would you do that?
I've done enough work for you.
No, but the thing, he wasn't mates with Tony. He was mates with Steve.
I suppose.
So, like, it would just be going to the equivalent of your boss's wife after the boss dies and says, can I have 50 grand to save my family? Obviously, Pepper would say, yeah, of course you can.
That's what I mean. He'd get it instantly.
You're Falcon. Obviously, we will do. And don't even worry about it. But, he seems like he's a very proud man. And, he wants to help his family get out of things in their own way rather than just sort of going, let's just get a Stark in here to pay the bills. And, I respect that.
You should start doing, like, people buy, like, Porsches and Lamborghinis and stuff. And then you book them to take you to prom or stuff like that. Do that.
So he acts as like a weird flight taxi service.
Yeah.
I would like to see him with like an Amazon bag or something. Stuber. You'd probably get sued by the Stuber guys, wouldn't you? But like with a Deliveroo backpack on or something like that, just sort of dropping pizzas off and stuff.
It'd just be like Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, kind of. But that wasn't Spider-Man delivering pizzas, though.
That was Peter Parker, but
yeah, it wasn't like, oh, I've run out of money, so I need to have a Papa John's Pizza Spider-Man sponsorship to, and he's just going to zip around the city dropping pizzas off.
I mean, I'd watch that.
I would watch that as well, actually. Now that I think about it, but also like if you've got the wings, like, can you just not do a bit of like scan and go, all right, there's a bunch of fish over there. Let's just go and shrimp the shit out of them all.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got his heads-up display and everything.
Yeah, you just send off your UAV and just be like, go and find some shrimp in the bay.
Yeah.
tell us where they are, and then we'll sail on over and.
Feels
like it's probably cheating a little bit.
Where he's got the electric thing and he just fries all the fish in the sea and then gets them all out when they go fishing.
Maybe.
That'd work.
But like, or at least reach out to the Air Force or something. And just like, can I borrow a satellite for like half an hour so I can do some like infrared imaging of where we live? You
could just hack into it.
Maybe.
He seems to be that good.
I don't know. Yes. Well, we haven't seen him doing anything as of yet.
The cartoon.
Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't mean anything at this point. But so obviously we've seen Winter Soldier kind of going through therapy, and he's sort of like he's trying to be a good guy.
Yeah.
So he seems to be doing that sort of like you need to make amends for what you've done, the people that you've wronged or whatever. Although I wonder how long that's going to last before he gets to like some really shitty, awful people.
Well, he already nearly dropped the bombshell about killing that guy's kid. Actually, when he went round there, that's what he was going to tell him.
Yeah, I mean,
bottled out. No,
but that's what I'm thinking though. That like that with that woman saying like, oh, he just wants some closure. He just wants someone to like. I think that she knows that he killed him, and like she's trying to poke that relationship, or something. I don't really know. There's still quite a lot to do with this. I'm quite looking forward to this week's, obviously, but rather than sort of like story and character, I think this is going to be a bit more like bang, brr, everything's exploding, flying. Yeah. Which I'm really quite looking forward to because we haven't really had much of that. Division. Not particularly, no.
Which was not a bad thing. It worked, but
this
definitely needs it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, there's not a lot we can say. Not a lot particularly happened. It's a bit of a setup episode. No end credit thing either. No little tease there.
No, I did have a look, but no, I didn't see anything.
Didn't expect there to be really, but it's good. I like the credits though.
I didn't watch
them. No, I like the.
As soon as they started, I just sort of looked towards the end and went, nope, and just moved straight on.
I watched it. I did, and then actually found out there was nothing. So I went, fuck's sake, what a waste. But no, it's good. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I just didn't have much time, I don't think, because I can't remember if it was on Thursday or it was on Friday. I want to say Thursday, if I'm honest, but...
What, Falcon?
No, Justice League. We finally got the Zack Snyder 4-hour director's cut Justice League. So, spoilers ahead.
Big spoilers.
For again, if you've seen Justice League, like a 5-year-old film, nothing really changes.
No.
Yeah, but the outcome is still the same.
Well, slightly different. Some extra bits to the ending.
There are some extra bits. Are more satisfying. Mate, the whole thing is better. Thing is better.
Don't get me wrong, it's too long. And it is
It's way too long. Do you know what I mean, though? Because I remember I messaged you after I finished. I was just like, you could shave about 40 minutes off this if you just stopped all the slow motion.
So I've saved one specific scene to complain about for slow motion. So,
shall I see if I can guess it?
Yes.
Is it when Vic is playing American football?
No. That was annoying, though.
It's just like, all right, yeah, he's playing football, he's good. Come on. Like, we don't need to see everything in slow motion. I don't know. Do you know what? That was the one that really sort of like, bloody hell, why is this in slow motion as well? Is it like the Flash thing with Iris?
No, I like that. Yeah, again,
I didn't like her.
Long, but
I didn't like her reaction though, considering she'd just gone into the side of a truck, and she's like flying through the air. She's like,
considering how fucked that car is, she would have.
Yeah, how's she not like
would have died? I know, it happened very fast, but
very fast.
No, in the Mascara, when Wonder Woman's mom, as I'm going to refer to her as because I can't remember her name. You know, after she's give the command like Barry, Steppenwolf, and obviously everybody else that's in there, and it's all collapsing. And she's running out, and it's all slow motion, and it's another Come on. And then time speeds up. And fucking, would you believe it? She runs slow as shit. So it's gone from a slow motion to just slow. Like, I don't understand. There was no need. Nothing was happening. So there was no need to do the slow motion in the first place. But if you're going to do anything, speed it up.
Yeah.
Because
like, there's a lot of slow motion in this, and a lot of it is put to really quite good use because it is slowing down really quite important things, or it's like trying to emotionally convey like the seriousness of whatever's going on. And like some of the stuff you just can't watch at normal speeds. Like I swear to God, because I've seen the original Justice League 4 or 5 times maybe. I mean, you can't just pop this on for a watch. You've got to go, right, I've got nothing to do for the next 6 hours. I'm not going to be disturbed. I can watch this again.
Zoe said, bear in mind she fell asleep, shockingly.
Of course she did. Of course she did.
But she said after I woke her up, and it finished, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and she said, like, what do you think and stuff. I was like, I won't say too much because obviously you miss like 3 hours 45 of it. But she was saying, like, she goes, we should have watched the other Justice League first. I went, you think I'm watching Justice League for 6 hours? Go fuck right off. Because don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the Snyder Cut. It's still not 10 out of 10.
No,
and I don't want to watch 6 hours of it.
No, there's a lot extra stuff covered in there that I'm glad that they did, and they removed so much shit that didn't need to be in there in the first place. I'm so glad that they did. Yeah, like that stupid family in Chernobyl or whatever the fuck it is, just sort of like with
Chernobyl, but
I know, but like with the bug spray, like got rid of all that. Don't need any of that. Perfect. They
got rid of the bait scene. Where Batman's baiting the
parademons with that random burglar.
I'm glad they got rid of
don't need any of that. There was a scene with like Lois and Martha where like Lois is back at work, and they just got rid of that altogether.
I like what they did with Lois. Like, seemed a lot more depressed. I mean, they all did. But
it's the name of the game, really. Apart from Alfred, who's just Jeremy Irons, he's amazing in this. Like everything is just a sarcastic swipe at him.
That scene where they're making the teas, brilliant.
He's just sort of like, do you want me to do it? And he's like, well, she's like, no. It's like, well, just maybe just a little bit more. Just leave it. I'll tell you what, how about you just fuck off and let me do the butlering, right?
This is literally my job. So
yeah, please just let me do that. But then they took the time to explain a lot more of the sort of the stuff from it.
Yeah.
They brought in Martian Manhunter,
which I both hated and loved.
I absolutely agree. Like, I love the fact that they just went, yeah, he's legit in it. But then it's sort of like, okay, why has he not done anything? Was he not helped out at all through any of the films that we've seen so far?
Batman v Superman.
Remember in Batman v Superman where there was where he agreed to fire a nuclear weapon at this thing rather than just nip in and try and help out, maybe.
I think it's fan service more than anything else.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it's exactly what I was going to say. Like they've just done it to just be like, because then that explains the whole Unite the Seven thing. Because maybe Manhunter should have been the Seven.
Yeah.
We did actually get a bit more Green Lantern as well. Not only in the fight with Darkseid, which was way better, by the way.
Yeah.
But we also saw another Green Lantern at the Hall of Justice. Mm-hmm. Like just a dead Green Lantern. Yeah. I think it was Kilowog, but I'm not sure.
It didn't there wasn't enough specifics, but I'd hazard a guess.
Yeah, but this, because I can't remember what happens with the in original Justice League when that Green Lantern goes down, but like Darkseid cuts his hand off, and I was just like, yeah. So I was like, oh, is that just like a move against the Green Lantern? You just take the hand off, and then they're fucked.
Wait, yeah,
I never thought
put it on the other hand.
I mean, to be fair, he stabbed him pretty quickly. Yeah. I mean, he knew what he was doing. Also, if you're a Green Lantern, call for backup. If you go, we've got like every single person on the planet plus a bunch of gods, like Zeus and whatever. They're all here. Come to any chance you can send me more than just one Green Lantern,
Yeah.
please.
Where was the rest of the Green Lanterns?
Just get them all. I know that they all protect a certain sector or whatever, but how many other sectors on that particular day are going to be stopping a planet from getting blown up?
For all intents and purposes, like this wasn't just a fight. It was world-ending stuff, not just for this world.
It was a global war. Yeah.
So, like, I mean, the fact that Ares was there was no reason like the other lanterns couldn't have been there.
I mean, Ares did some fucking damage.
Yeah.
He did some. I mean, this film was so much more brutal than. Got a few F-bombs in there as well. I mean, Jesus. They ramped it up.
There's only a handful of moments that I didn't agree. Actually, just before we go on to that, I don't need to hear Wonder Woman's intro every time she comes on screen.
Well, they changed up quite a bit of the music. So, like, when she's first introduced on top of that building in London.
That's fine. I'll have it there.
No, it wasn't there. In the original Justice League, it was.
Yeah, it's when she goes in, when she breaks the door down.
Yeah,
that's when it comes in.
I think they retouched up that scene because it looks. I think there's a bit more. So like, there's a bunch more where she's just sort of like blocking in real time.
All I could see from that is from a behind the scenes point of view. Obviously, there's no bullets there or anything, so she's just going. She's being dragged across the floor by whatever. But I mean, that scene's changed because the little girl says something different in the original.
She's like, no, I don't think they'd said anything at all. She just threw the thing out through the roof. It exploded, and then that was it.
No, she does say something to her.
Oh right, okay.
And in this one, it's like, can I be like you when I'm older, or whatever? She's like, you can be whatever you want. And she does say something different.
What she should have said was, I get that. However, can I be like you? Can I be blocking bullets with my arms when I grow up? Is that something I can do?
This is also the problem we had with Wonder Woman 86, whatever it was, 84.
84.
That's how Thingy got her powers.
Just wish upon a star.
I want to be like Diana.
Turn into a cheetah.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly it doesn't work.
Also,
so surely then from that knowledge she should go, oh, can I be like you when I grow up? Like, no, be your own person. Yeah. Definitely don't try and be like me, because the last time that happened, she turned into a cheetah and I had to beat the shit out of her. So
drown her.
Be you.
But there was no. Diana didn't need to do the just obliterate him. She could have got
bit
to
overkill.
Him. She could have just got
blew
to
that
him
whole
and just
building out. Yeah.
All that rubble could have fucking killed a lot of people on the floor.
I was thinking of that from the police outside. Just sort of like one of them just sort of looking up and then just a rock just goes through his head.
But she didn't need to. She could have just gone, got him. You're under arrest, mate.
He's just fired a machine gun at full automatic. And then it's just like, okay, well, this isn't going to work. Then reloads. Like, he hasn't got another bomb on him or something like that. That you need to just stop him there and then. You just go over. Surely. And then the police would go, well, we wanted to talk to him to figure out why he was doing this and if there's anybody else, whatever. Yeah. No, you just obliterated him.
Not his hat, though.
Which was cool, but who's going to pay for all the repair damage? Like, you didn't really think this one through. I mean, to be fair, if you're adding up building and property costs, I think Superman's probably got all of them beat, frankly.
I don't know.
He blew up half a city.
Wonder Woman's been doing it longer.
What do you reckon? She just goes from city to city, just taking out infrastructure.
She's generally more careful. Generally.
Well, usually, yeah. I mean, she specifically tried to stop a bomb. How did she find out about that as well? Was that on the news?
Maybe she's just pottering about.
She's got like a police scanner, just sort of
from the bank
in her pants. While she's going for a loan.
Sake.
No, she's doing all right. She's like working at a museum. She's driving a Mercedes. She's doing fine.
She's got plenty of money. Well, you would have. It's like the whole vampire syndrome where most vampires are loaded just because they've lived for so long. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, you can't spend it forever, can you?
Yeah. But some of the music choices were, I like them for the better. Some I don't think fit too well. Like the scene with Aquaman. Instead of him like, something like you're you're crazy, Bruce, or whatever, and he jumps in the water. And in this one, he's just like walks to the edge, and the water comes and kind of takes him away. But that music felt like it was like the end of an episode of something, and then it wasn't. It just goes into another scene. And there was a lot of very odd music choices, but
I think by the fact that I noticed it quite a bit, I think you're probably right. So like there was, it seemed to just sort of like change up every scene. And again, I know that they're trying to make like every shot like a hero pose.
Yeah.
So it's like the most dramatic music, and it's shot beautifully, and they're all standing, and they're all slow motion, and they're all, you know, look at us, we're so cool. And I think in most ways it works, but it does seem like it's just sort of like, come on, yeah, you've done this already, sort of thing.
That bloody hymn they were singing. Whatever the fucking hell it was. When he's stripped off and he got in the water. And all the girls are...
Oh, yeah.
Why? The fuck was that?
Just have a little sing-song. And sniff his jumper, you fucking creep.
It went on for ages.
But this is the thing. I think they're trying to drag it out and make everything as beautiful as possible.
I get it, and like he is, for all intents and purposes, a god, and I can see them treating him that way. But shit, it was like 11 minutes.
It was a big old. Just have a little Nordic sing song.
Yeah, which again is fine. Like just do it, and then kind of like fade it out, like have the camera pan up or something, and then Wonder Woman blows the moon up. Or something, I don't know. But I mean, I did say to you, we haven't really spoke about this at all because we wanted to save it for this. But I did say to you, like, I am. You can go back and listen to most podcasts where we've mentioned the Snyder Cut, and I've definitely said it numerous times that it has to be better than the original because it can't be worse. So
it couldn't be worse.
Even if it wasn't good, it'll still be better. But I am genuinely surprised how different the film is. And I know it's got an extra 2 hours on, or well, an hour and a half, whatever, extra. But I like the mood. It fits. Whether people agree with the Zack Snyder mood or not, that's neither here nor there. But Superman's dead. It should be somber and depressing as fuck. And it is. And really the only... I still don't like Emo Cyborg, but I understand his reasoning for being Emo Cyborg. But I think it's just having gotten so used to Booyah Cyborg from Teen Titans Go.
Well, they cut the Booyah out, didn't they?
Yeah, they didn't even keep it in. Well, he had already said anything that was a Whedon scene was scrapped.
Yeah, it's fairly obvious.
But I'm surprised Snyder came up with the Superman eye bit when he's got like Aquaman and Wonder Woman and Cyborg, and then Flash is running past him, and he's just like,
yeah, that's still one of the best parts of that film.
That's my favourite scene from this film and the previous, but I thought that was a Whedon moment just because of the Flash's face. It's so
no,
funny.
I think that because of the fact that it was in slow motion as well, and you could see everything that was going on, that always made me think it was. But like, so like when Flash like points like Wonder Woman's sword back up into her hand, and then they go on the floor, and then he's on her boobs, and he's like, that's silly of me. Like a carry-on camping fucking joke, right? And then there was that whole scene. It's just like, oh my god, we're all going to drown, and like there's a guy upstairs and there's hostages and stuff, and then they just went, no, we're not doing that. Like he just fell down, and they just fell down in two separate places, and they didn't go back on it. That just
no, go on.
No, I was just going to say that just reiterates that these are the sort of like the jokey Whedon-esque things that if the whole film was like that, like a carry-on Justice League, then fine. But it's not. It's still serious, and like the world's about to end, and there was a real like the pacing is better, but obviously
got 4 hours.
How can it be any worse if it's 4 hours long? Like you can get everything you want to in there.
Yeah.
But maybe there'll be another cut, which will be, but that was everything. That was like the raw footage deal kind of thing, and then like that song.
Someone will do it. Someone will chop out.
Just cut it down to about 3 hours or so.
I reckon you get it out to just over 3 hours or just over 3 hours.
Because I would have much preferred it if they'd have released this version in 2.
Well, that was
and they had Justice League 1, Justice League 2.
The original Justice League movie was meant to be 2 parts. And
back in the day, yeah, many moons ago.
We did a podcast on it when the news hit that it was going to.
Mate, I'm pretty sure that was one of our first ones.
It wasn't far off. I know we had a good number of Justice League episodes, but when they said it was going to be one movie, I was like, why? Why? That's like Marvel starting with Endgame.
Yeah, like, you've got to build up. So, like, there was so much more sort of like, you know, Barry meeting with his dad and like the relationship between Cyborg and his dad and like the origin, like him and his mom in the car and, you know, arguing and that sort of stuff. There's like, those are big moments that would have been part of the origin story from a solo film that we never obviously got. So it makes sense to include all of that sort of stuff in there. But you don't really want to be too self-congratulatory either, like with the whole sort of like, oh, Aquaman, how beautiful. Like, you know, all that sort of stuff. You don't necessarily need that.
Like I say, it would have been nice to have them start that, and you go, okay. And like I say, it just fades out to the next scene.
Or that just in the background of the scene.
That's what I mean. So, like, have it so they're watching him go out, and instead of having, like, the Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, whatever it was, have them singing as the water's going over him, kind of thing.
Well, he didn't go into the water. He was just in the water, and then he was just gone.
That's what I mean. Like, he's just like in the other one, he just like falls backwards, doesn't he, or whatever it is. And on this one, he stands there, and all the waves come, and he slowly fades away, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But have them singing while that's happening instead of the.
We're focusing too much on that singing. There's a lot more.
Music aside, like there was a lot of good choices and stuff, and sound for the most part was pretty good. Still a very weird aspect ratio for the film.
A little bit.
I mean, IMAX isn't widescreen. It is more a square, which is what I'm assuming his intention was for a film that wasn't being released at the cinema. So, well done. I got used to after like 20 minutes, something like that. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but what I read was this was how it was originally filmed when Snyder started it, and obviously they've cropped it down to this, but Whedon kept it, so he kept the widescreen version of it. That's why there's not a lot of stuff going on the left and right of the side. It's all in the middle because that's how it was all set up. That's just a little fact that I thought I'd put out there. But I really liked it. The Martian Manhunter stuff, the Deathstroke stuff. Oh, that was another thing they changed. Lex doesn't mention the Legion of Doom. Yeah,
so they included the post-credit scene from Justice League, and then they've had an epilogue to the film.
Yeah,
which was this to me seems like it was something that was reshot because it's just sort of like who can we just get in quick sharp?
It's definitely reshot, wasn't it?
Yeah, so let's get Deathstroke and Mira and Flash and Bruce and Joker and have a little a conversation after the fact, which is probably far more interesting than it should have been, considering it was just something that was just, it seemed like it was just tacked on at the end a little bit.
Snyder had said before the release, the Snyder Cut really started getting a roll. Snyder had said the nightmare sequence would have made up a big portion of his version of the film. That was a fucking lie.
Well, but that's the thing. If he stopped before they had the chance to film it all, then maybe they wouldn't have had the time and resources and money to go and actually put all of everything exactly what he wanted in.
But that means that because the scene that we didn't get the one that's in the original Justice League film, like where he gets taken down to the thing, and he's all that was Whedon that obviously made that one.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, maybe they just thought it wasn't relevant anymore because, like, part of that was after the Flash came through time.
Yeah.
And then Bruce says, "Oh, I had a dream, and the Flash came through," and then whatever. So that's still supposed to have happened.
Yeah.
But we just didn't see it.
I mean,
which is
no, that's from Batman v Superman, isn't it?
No.
Is it not?
Wait.
Yeah, no, yeah, it is because he's like, he doesn't specifically say. I don't remember him saying Lois.
No, he was like, she's the key.
She's the key.
Oh yeah, no, it is because that was just after Martha had been captured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so it was.
So why is there a reference to that in this then? It's just like, oh, I was asleep, and then the Flash came through and had like a premonition of the future.
I think it's actually before he met Flash, wasn't it? And then once he got the thumb drive with Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Flash and Cyborg.
I don't know. I think maybe I need to bloody watch it again. I need to watch it again, man.
BVS I could watch again. The extended cut.
No, I mean this. I need to watch this again.
Oh, I don't know about that.
But it's just
I'll do the cut, and I'm going to condense it down.
Yeah, just make it into 20 minutes of just highlight reel.
What I would like to do, if I ever got a chance, I probably won't, is get all the slow motion scenes, speed them up to like 1.0 times speed, so it won't look good, but just see, because that's a regular video speed, just see how much it actually shaves off if all the slow motion scenes are set to 1.0.
Obviously, anything that's like in bullet time or whatever, you can't really speed those up.
No, but I don't mind if they do it like, towards the end when Batman's in the Batmobile and they're all going towards the wall, and then they all jump and there's that quick, very slow motion scene of them all together, which was
that was cool.
That was like a Whedon Avengers moment though.
Well, it was an Age of Ultron thing for sure.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But I like that because it was all fast and then it's like, and then it's like back into it again. And it's cool. It gives you that glimpse. So you go, hey, that's the Justice League. And then it's just back straight into the action, which is fine,
Yeah.
which is what there was a lot of them that did it, but there was far too much Snyder super slow motion indulgence that
but not much lens flare. But
not much colour, so you'd struggle.
That's true. But there was a lot more sort of like, people getting killed and stabbed and ripped in half, and it just seemed that this is the more adult version.
Yeah, I do think this is the version that was intended. This feels like a sequel to Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, in that this is a dark, gritty...
the Ultimate Edition, I assume you mean.
Yeah. But we've mentioned it before, but as much as I liked the Martian Manhunter stuff, I like the Deathstroke stuff, the final epilogue with Joker and Deathstroke and that all teamed up and stuff. As much as I liked them, there's no point. Why build all these fucking world bridges for something we're never going to fucking see? The Martian Manhunter one in particular was.
Yeah, it was just like, oh yeah, I'll come back and help. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, but there's not going to be another one of these.
I think there'll be like a hashtag reinstate the Snyder universe.
No. I'd say that like this was good, but this has to be the end now.
I mean, Cavill and Affleck have dropped out anyway, aren't they?
I don't know if Cavill has.
No, Cavill said he would come back. Sorry, but Ben Affleck has.
No, Ben Affleck. Well, the Batman, his Batman film died 2 or 3 years ago, so clearly he's not interested anymore.
Well, it was Matt Reeves that took over, wasn't it? Because Ben Affleck was writing and directing it, obviously starring in it. Then he dropped out, and Matt Reeves was going to be writing it and directing it, and then he dropped out. Ben Affleck dropped out completely.
And then they just went,
Pattinson come in when they changed it to a new film.
Well, what I'd rather they do now is they just they leave the shared universe stuff alone for a while. So they did Joker, that was well received, it was a good film. They're going to do the Batman.
They're doing the multiverse, aren't they? Because you've already got Keaton, Ben Affleck, and I'm assuming Robert Pattinson are in the Flash film. So
maybe, but again, it's is that Flash film going to be related to the Snyder Cut Justice League? Is he going to be related to the other Justice League? Is he going to be related to the TV show Flash?
I'm of the impression Wonder Woman director and Aquaman director said that their versions belong with the Snyder Cut, not the Whedon Cut, as we'll call it. Because they've even done it with the who was the guy that made Suicide Squad?
James Gunn.
No, not the new Suicide Squad, the shit one.
Oh, the old.
It's like David Ayer or something like that. I want to say that, but there's already like a release the Ayer cut before the studio interference.
No, thank you.
Don't get me wrong. Again, the same as Justice League. It can't be worse than the other one, but it definitely won't be good.
But this is exactly what I'm worried about, though, is that because now everyone will be like, oh, well, just give us the other version of the film. No, release the film the way that you're supposed to.
I will say,
if studio interference gets involved in it, and then if it affects the final product, well, do you know what? That's been the case for 100 years.
But that's what should probably change. Is they should look at.
No, I don't like these do-overs.
No, not the do-over bit.
Have another crack at it.
I mean, like, they should look at the Snyder Cut as this is what the film could have been without studio interference. And I know that wasn't the case with Justice League. It was, obviously, he had a family tragedy, he dropped out, Whedon took over. And I think he basically went, I've had a lot of success with the Avengers, so I know me some team-up movies. I'm going to completely change everything about this film in a very short time frame. And
well, look at Deadpool for an example, right?
Yeah.
So Fox Studios obviously were heavily involved with Wolverine Origins, was it?
Last Stand and Origins were the ones they got proper involved in.
Yeah. So they had their grubby, filthy mitts in that, and they are the worst ones. And then they got the go ahead to do Deadpool, the standalone film. And they completely backed off, and just they left it so it was the director's vision, and it's one of the best ones they put out.
100%. Same
with that
Logan
universe. Exactly that, because it seems that now they seem to be getting used to the fact of, well, maybe we don't actually know.
Maybe the director knows what they're doing.
Maybe if they, we hire this person because we like how they work and the finished products that they come up with. That's probably why I think Netflix is works so well and is quite good to work for.
It's some money.
Yeah, they're just like, we're approving it, so we'll fund it, but the vision is that's what we're signing up for.
Yeah.
Because we've read that, we agree with that, we like that, so we want you to do that, and we'll stay out of the way. If you need anything, obviously let us know, other than money. But
I mean, Sony are the same with the games and stuff. Like the Naughty Dog are just left to their own devices, and Santa Monica Studios are just left to their own devices. And you got something to show? No, okay. See you in a year, and then just got anything to show? No. Well, get a fucking rig on. Come on.
But then, but if you take this and then you take Sonic, where they just completely redid things just because of what the like.
I still don't think they did. I'm very certain it was just a publicity thing.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think they made him look like that horrible troll-like fucking sponge thing when they could have made it like this. Like, they supposedly spent a fucking lot of money on a film that probably wasn't going to give the same returns.
Yeah, but it was more of, I think it was more sort of like, let's make a franchise for this. So we want a Sonic franchise. So we've got Sonic film, then we can do a Sonic and Tails film, then we'll have a Knuckles or Shadow standalone, and then whatever. And it's still somewhat of a popular franchise, so people are still going to see it. There's still cartoons and stuff. But then it seems like that was very formulaic and studio heavy for sort of like, let's get the kids in and let's do dabbing and let's do the floss dance or whatever, whatever's popular for those 5 minutes.
Because really, that film was targeted at me and you. We grew up with Sonic.
I disagree, mate. There was not a single thing about that film I thought was for me.
But I mean,
whereas Mortal Kombat, I'm just sort of like, did they make this in my brain? Like,
no. But what
everything seems cool about this.
Like, Sonic's an odd franchise that people are going to love. Sonic is us. We grew up with it and stuff. But the film they made is for Logan.
Yeah,
who hasn't.
But it's also based on nothing to do with what me and you would actually know or enjoy about the games.
What they should have done is what I assume the sequel. They played it very safe. They did a buddy cop kids film, and what they should have done is what I assume is what the sequel's going to be, where it's going to be on Morbius. Robotnik's stuck there. He's making his fucking inventions and robots and stuff, and Sonic and Tails have got to save the day. Maybe there's a Master Emerald thing. Maybe Knuckles shows up because Robotnik's tricked him, and then he thinks Sonic's the bad guy. But he's not, and then they team up at the end, and then we get a Sonic and Knuckles movie as a threequel, so to speak. And that's what I assume is what the next one's going to be, mostly, give or take. There's not going to be any other human people in it other than Eggman. That's what I reckon.
No, I think you're right. I think it's going to be back on Earth again. I think it'll split between it, but I think it'll still be on Earth because I don't think it would have ended the first one with Tails coming to Earth if they were just immediately going to
get Sonic, isn't he?
Yeah, but they've still got like, oh, here's a cast that we've introduced in the last film. So James Marsden and all them, they all need to come back.
Yeah, he needs to go back and do another X-Men film.
No, he doesn't. He needs to go back and do another Superman film. Oh, wait. No, he doesn't. No.
But anyway, Snyder Cut. Release the master.
Yeah, I just think it's very dangerous ground because then you're going to get like, oh, there's a Josh Trank version of the Fantastic Four, and that would have been better. And like studios have got to go. Look, it probably would be, but they commit a certain amount of funds to a project to get it off the ground and to make that film. And if they get involved, ultimately it's their money.
Yeah.
Like if they want to get involved, then there's nothing stopping them from doing so. But they need to realise that there's times where they shouldn't do that.
Yeah, and I think that's 100% of the time. I think they just need to trust the people. Like, I will very much go out on a limb and say the only reason Warner Brothers got Whedon was because of the Avengers, and they looked at him and went, "Let's do that, but for these guys." Instead of what they realistically should have done. And I know it's not really possible with timing and everything else and the money they've already put into advertising and stuff. They should have just gone, let's just put this film on hold for now until Snyder's ready to come back to work, kind of thing. Or
I imagine it's like a construction project though, isn't it?
That's
like
what I mean.
You've got a certain budget and time frame and whatever.
Or at least ask Snyder and go, who would you like to come in and take over your work? Like, I think James Wan would have been a good choice. He did a good job with Aquaman. I think Whedon's the wrong call. He's not a DC man. He's a Marvel guy. And maybe even Disney just went, here's an extra fucking 65 bazillion.
Just go over there and ruin that film for us.
Just in case. Batman's pretty popular. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, to be fair. But no, I mean, like the Snyder Cut is, by and large, like if the original, well, the previous one, that's a 4 out of 10, maybe generous. This is definitely 7 or an 8 for me, and I'm not saying it's an 8 out of 10 compared to Endgame, just purely against previous Justice League that we got, train wreck as I like to call it.
It's significantly better.
Yeah,
like
significantly longer as well. I was drained, mate. I really was drained. I enjoyed it, and I really, really, really did. Didn't even have a wee. It hurt when I went after. But
you're doing it wrong. Then you're holding the end.
Yeah, I like to do like I'm filling up a water balloon, and then I throw it out the window.
Foreskin joke for all you uncircumcised people.
But no, there's it's a weird feeling that that Snyder's got ahead. He's got an advantage here. He's got an extra 2 hours to pad this film out. And like you said earlier, we got to get all these. We got more of a backstory for Cyborg, and we got to see it more of a daily life for Flash and Lois and Martha mourning over Clark and stuff. Bruce Wayne.
No more mustache issues.
No more mustache issues.
Black suit Superman. I'm just trying to cram them all in now. But Superman in the black suit. No more joking around.
Yeah.
Like he's come back and he's come back hard.
There was no. Do you bleed?
Yeah, that. Oh, I kind of like that line though.
I don't. Sort of why would he remember it? He didn't remember anything else.
But no, that was the point though, because like he doesn't remember anything else. He's a bit confused, and then he clocks Batman. He's just like, "I remember you, son. I remember you." And then he's just like going towards him. So then they changed it. Like Lois isn't just something that's brought out by Bruce. She just happened to be in the area. So you probably saved Batman's life. So nice job.
But it wasn't a happened to be there. Was it? That's like Martian Manhunter went and convinced her. You need to go out.
No, she was there because she was getting over.
Yeah, that was the last.
Wasn't going to visit.
That was the last day she was going to go, wasn't it? And she said like,
yeah,
like, last one kind of thing. But that was after he went and said like, you need to. Well, Martha said, be you, whatever. I can't even remember what she said now, but
she was like, you need to go back to work. You need to stop living in the past.
My house is being repossessed, so I could really do with a hand. So.
Yeah, I do wish. I wonder how that phone call went when she called Martha and was just like, "Oh, Clark's back. Like, you better get over to the farm quick shop." And she's like, "Oh, it's a good job that you came around and talked to me and got me back on track." And Martha's like, "No, I didn't.
What?
It's like I literally haven't seen you for like a year.
Yeah. Also,
like, no, you were in my house."
It's not a spoiler, but when Superman's like, what did you do? Like, thanks for getting my house back and stuff. It's really appreciated. What did you do? Just like, I bought the bank. Did you not think to check up with Martha at any point during any of this?
He's busy. He's running the company.
Is he?
Also, I'm pretty sure that he's sort of like,
walk up a
Clark's
mountain.
out of the way. I don't have to be guilty about it because who's going to make me feel guilty?
But this new, everything's a little bit brighter Batman. Like, you would think that he would go, like, the reason he's dead is kind of a little bit to do with me. Like, if we'd have worked together sooner, he was trying to tell me he's not a bad guy.
Yeah, but his mom didn't get involved in any of that. She wasn't helping him out.
No, but they've both got the same name. So both of their moms have
and
got the same name.
That's a real point of contention for him. Maybe he doesn't want to know anyone else called Martha.
That's true. You're
going for an interview at Wayne Enterprises, and it's like, what's your name? It's like, Martha Jenkins. Sorry, no, we're not hiring at the
moment. Have you seen...
Also, Lois is pregnant.
Well, this is what I was literally about to touch on. Apparently, there's two things. One of the things was she was pregnant. And that kid would have, at the end of the film, would have been Batman. He would have took up the mantle of Batman. This is from Snyder as well. That was one of the ideas they originally had. The other thing was when Flash changed its time to put everyone back, it caused it wasn't the same time that they went back. He didn't just go back in time. They went to like a different universe. And that kid was Bruce's.
Bruce and Lois.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad we didn't go down that route.
No, I'm glad that we just sort of got the...
Like, he's fucking shooting his lasers at Batman, and he's like, oh, fuck, and then Lois comes, and Bruce is like, thank fuck you're it. She's like, leave my husband alone. And Superman's like, what?
You would have just burnt the world down and then.
Well, that's what he does when she dies.
That's true. We did just sort of get like a skeleton version of Lois, so
yeah.
I would have liked way more context as to what was going on in that whole future nightmare thing. Like that is the most interesting part about this film. It's not about Steppenwolf and boxes or whatever. It's about what happened to get the world that bad. That's the film I want to see. That's the sequel I want to see.
I love that film. I think that would have been such a good film.
Is it Lex? Is it Joker? Is it...
It's never touched upon, though. When Joker's like, you You need me to unscrew this whole mess. Whatever. Why? I understand why Deathstroke's there. I understand
what
why
are you bringing to the table, son?
the Atlanteans there and stuff. I don't understand why Joker's there.
Well, all we've seen of him so far is just that he's been in the Suicide Squad film, and he's kind of a gangster, and he's a bit of a madman.
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna kill you.
Like you've got Batman, the Flash, Mira, and Deathstroke.
Cyborg.
You've got a playing card, and you're constantly taunting the leader of this team about how you killed his adopted son. Again, probably is not a smart call, mate.
I don't know how I felt about
also, we did
rebuttal.
get Dark Knight Returns Batmobile.
Yeah, that was real.
That looked horrific. Why did he not roll that out?
I don't understand why we got to see the stupid fucking spider thing.
Crab crawler thing. And not the Dark Knight Batmobile. Yeah. That thing is a troop carrier as well.
I know it wouldn't be practical in the tunnels that they were in to climb up the walls and stuff, but...
Well, you just sort of park it down it and it'll block all the water from coming round because it's so fucking hench.
Why were they pissing about trying to get the crawler working to get out when Cyborg and Wonder Woman could have just took them all out?
Or Aquaman could say, well, if we just let this place fill up, which it's going to, I'll just make sure that we'll bob up quite nicely.
I'll keep us all afloat. Or what, Flash,
I'll tell you what,
take each of us and just run us up.
Yeah, all that, which he's clearly capable of doing. But what I don't like is when they have a cool machine, like it's usually like a Batplane or a Batmobile or whatever, and they spend so long building this thing up, and it's experimental and it's this cool thing, and it's like super intricate, and it's only him and Alfred repairing it or whatever, and then they destroy it in about 30 seconds. Like it's like I've got the mindset of Q from the James Bond films. Like I know all the effort and money and time that's gone into making this car, and then you fire 3 rockets, then drive it off a cliff straight away.
It's basically the movie.
You just don't take care of any of your stuff.
Not when it was
like he's got
it was made out to be very important.
Well, he's got this fucking crawler thing that gets absolutely rinsed, and then you've got the Batplane, but it's not really the Batplane. It's like because we obviously had the Batplane in Batman vs Superman, which is like the one-man fighter pilot kind of thing. This is the troop carrier, and then he gets in that on his own and then fires a couple of rockets, then crashes it straight away. And it's just like, that must have been super expensive, man.
Well,
like, you're not bothered.
I don't think that's the main thing that prevents him from blowing stuff
that
up.
was like a prototype thing that never worked. You haven't got another one of those sitting around, have you? I mean, it did fly at the end, I suppose. But either way, he went in there purposefully knowing that this is probably going to explode.
That was... I mean, that's...
I would have just taken the bus.
That's the least of their problems, though. They go, we can crash this through here, and it potentially we might be able to get in there enough to bring the shields down a bit. Or I could park it somewhere safe and we'll just risk it. Just see how it goes.
I would do that. Also, do you know why? Because you've got the Flash with you.
Yeah, but he's not all about turning back time at that point, is he?
No, I don't mean turning back time. I just mean that you go, okay, well, how are we going to get in? How about, as you've now can phase, you just phase each of us through, and zip, 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 and we're in.
That was a really cool moment, actually, when he's running out of the shop, he's like, and then the glass kind of like bends before it breaks. Yeah. That was really cool.
Well, I did like him actually, like his whole going back through time thing, where it's just sort of like the world was like creating around him, but it was good. But then they also kept him out of doing anything by just having him run in a circle for 5 minutes until he was shot.
Something else.
Bit of a waste.
Something else, actually. Big point. Superman Standoff, right? You don't know what's going on. They're trying to calm him down. Just be like, you've had a big nap, big guy. put a shirt on. And then Cyborg's like, I can't control my armor. It's self-defense mode. I'm under threat. There's nothing I can do. Blam, blam, blam. Fast forward, Steppenwolf coming at him behind him with a big axe. Didn't go off then.
Well, he was in the middle of trying to separate these things from like.
But his suit's still like his body is still. I assume it's still.
And it just grows extra arms. I don't know, because it's not like the Blue Beetle suit, is it? That's like a living weapon. It's just a part of him.
Sentient enough that it could do multiple things at the
also,
same time.
that was the first time he's like really in a battle, but he didn't know what to do. But then he's in a place where he's constantly under threat.
Do you think it's like Baymax, and he's just downloading stuff, fighting things?
Well, like the Matrix.
Yeah, I mean the Matrix would have been a better example.
Yeah, where it's just sort of like, I need to know how to fight properly.
Cheers.
Also, I did like the fact that like they did the whole thing with like Silas explaining. It's just like, yeah, you could topple governments if you wanted to. Like, there's like it's more than just a robot suit that shoots lasers.
Yeah.
Like the shit that you can do, you could change the world literally.
Which he does.
Well, I mean, he gives someone that he feels sorry for a bit of extra cash. Which
no,
is
I meant
nice.
the whole like mother box thing, not so much.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that was pretty useful. Yeah.
Things, but
yeah,
it's just a good film, and
it is. And I'm really gutted that it's set up for a thing that we're never going to get. We're never going to get that nightmare thing. We're not going to get the dark side coming back and having a big old scrap. Because I mean, to be fair, we've already seen that. Because he was just like, oh, we'll go back and do it the old-fashioned way then. It's like, yeah, but the first time you tried that, you'd lost.
And there wasn't a Superman there then.
Yeah, but there was a Green Lantern.
But this time you got Martian Manhunter, you got Martian Manhunter, you got Flash, Superman.
So if you switch out the Green Lantern and the Greek gods that were there, and then pop in the Justice League, as well as 5,000 years worth of advancements of military technology and stuff.
And Batman. I mean,
Batman, sure.
But the humans stood their own. So
I don't know. I don't know as to what their actual contribution was, because like there was
did a bit.
But the thing is, though,
it's the same thing, isn't it? Like where everyone was like taking hits at like Steppenwolf and stuff, and Batman's off fighting parademons and.
Yeah, but they still didn't really do much though, because like, you know, they separate the boxes out. The Amazonians take it back to Themyscira and they put it in a special bunker that it's impenetrable and you can knock some things out. And then not only does it seal it in, but it drops it into the sea. The Atlanteans buried it in a vault, their most secret vault in Atlantis under the ocean. And the humans put it in dirt and then dug a 3-foot deep hole and then plopped it in there.
It's the last one they found.
But then they went, and the Nazis found it as well. Oh, like the Tesseract in Captain America. Is that what you mean? Also, why was there no like Nazi secret science mother box stuff? That would have been cool to have a look into for a bit.
It might have been in a Wonder Woman film. Maybe, potentially.
Oh, maybe they should have done that. They should have done Wonder Woman World War One and Wonder Woman 2, and it's the Nazis with a mother box, and she's like, I know what this fucking mother box is, and you ain't having that, son.
That'd have been a lot better than what we got. But
yeah,
why didn't Batman build another power armor suit to be useful?
Because he was putting all of his time and money into a stupid plane that he was going to crash the second he took off in it.
But that just seems like it would have been way more useful.
Maybe it's not quick enough. It's like quite clunky and cumbersome, and
it was good enough
like
to
if you're
go
zipping
after
around and
Superman. I know it had kryptonite and stuff.
But he's got like energy absorbing gauntlets. So like all you have to do is just block the shot with that. Gone. It doesn't matter anymore. You don't need a whole armor suit.
I suppose. Why didn't he build a whole suit out of the gauntlet stuff?
Because he wouldn't be able to flip around and do kicks and shit.
I suppose. He didn't for most
and
of it.
To be fair,
I
was going to say, I was just going to say, he just, as soon as he was like, this is actually a lot of effort. These guns, these seem fine. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, okay, that works. That kills them.
Does that one thing where he grapples up, did a roll, punched one, did a roundhouse kick, kicked one, gets the gun, and then just shoots everyone.
Maybe that's his turning point, though. It's just like, I don't know why I've been bothering with all this fucking...
Yeah, because there was a scene
martial arts stuff
that was cut out of it. He's just like...
It's like, you're right, Bruce.
Alfred, I need my inhaler. It's like...
he's got like adrenaline shots that are like built into the suit, and they just all inject him at the same time.
He's never looked better though. What a Batman!
Yeah,
I love Ben Affleck. Batman is excellent. I don't care what anyone says.
It's a slug, but this is absolutely what we should have got.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have been
hands down
toasted as much as it was, but it shouldn't have been that. It should have been 2 parts.
Yeah, it should have been what they said from the get-go, 2 parts, like it should be, and those 2 parts should have preceded. Should have come after an Aquaman solo film, a Cyborg solo film, a Wonder Woman solo film, and a Flash solo film. Fuck it, a Batman one as well, and then have Batman v Superman.
But then that means we wouldn't have got this Justice League film until a couple of years from now, basically, because at that point that would have been 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, but how excited would you be now, assuming they were all good films?
I don't know. I think I'd be more like I'd much rather than go. Okay, we've done a Joker, we've done a Batman. We'll do Mr. Freeze. We'll do.
I'd like them to do that, but just assuming that we're going with this cinematic universe to.
Well, I'd say, well, what about then if instead of.
What if they did a Darkseid movie?
You do it the opposite way. So you do a Joker film, you do a Freeze film, a Penguin film, a Harley film, a bit of a rogues gallery kind of thing. And then the Thanos, the big bad that brings them all together for their ensemble film, is Batman. And it's all these villains going, how the fuck do we take this guy down? Because he's always there. And then you've got, Batman, but instead of his children of Thanos, you've got Robin, and then Batgirl, and Batwing, and Ace the Bat-Hound. Sure, why not? Okay. So you could have it's the team up. It's the Suicide Squad film, but
the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just an ensemble for the sake of an ensemble.
I like the Harley Quinn cartoon.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So you get to know them and
the bad guys.
Yeah, you know that they are still the bad guys, and that ultimately it's Batman. Like, even if he doesn't win, he makes one phone call, and then all of a sudden, Red and Blue Man comes flying out the sky, and you're like,
Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, it's like, look, we had a good run, but when Superman shows up, it's all over. That's it. But I'd much rather them do that and just sort of come at it from the opposite way.
That would have been interesting. Obviously, that's not going to happen. I mean, there's still a possibility that could happen, but...
well, I just don't think there's enough... I don't think there's enough goodwill left in the world now for them to be able to carry on that.
I don't think one of them is going to afford to take that chance.
No, and I'm pretty sure that most of the people who are involved in it, they don't really want to go, I don't want to do another one of these.
Yeah.
Like, it was so panned. Like, because I remember coming out of seeing Justice League and I was just like, I don't really understand what just happened. Like, I think it was okay, but I'm not really sure. But even though that was 4 hours, at the end of it, I was just like, that made so much more sense.
Yeah.
And there was like there was actual dialogue and conversations and people talking to each other and living a bit.
And it was long, and it was very, 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 very long. But everyone had a chance to shine, except for maybe Wonder Woman, who I think got less this time round than she did in Justice League.
I'd say that she probably has about the same, but that's not saying that she had much to do in Justice League anyway. But she has also had 2 solo films, which none of the others have done.
I mean, yeah, she's the only one. Because technically Superman did, because Man of Steel and Batman v Superman.
Well, it's not Man of Steel 2, though. It's Batman and Superman. It's their film. But I don't know. No, it didn't feel like she had a huge amount to do. It felt like the Amazons did. They had a big hand in it.
But she couldn't have been there, though.
No, I mean, she did her fighting and stuff, and that's fine. That's what you need her for. Yeah. But it wasn't like she didn't have a sit-down moment and talk someone around, or like, because Bruce did this whole thing in Justice League where he was like, look, I don't want to be the leader of this team. You're the leader. We should be following your lead. All of that's gone.
Yeah.
It still seems like Batman is very much in charge. Well, she's the oldest and most experienced and an actual, trained warrior from birth.
I think they've just, gone on the sense of once, Bruce has he's gone for a wee. And then they're like, yeah, are we seriously? He's got no powers. And they're like, just let him have his moment. Hi, boss. Hey.
Yeah, there's a lot of sort of like, he'll give an order and then they'll just sort of. And she goes, yeah, that sounds. I'd do about the same thing. Yeah, it's fine.
But he is. I would say that he's probably more of a tactician than.
He is. He should be calling the shots from like afar as like a support character because he can't get involved with what's going on without 1,000 machines or a huge suit of armor or whatever. But if he's in the background, sort of calling the shots and making the plays, and then Wonder Woman's the one who's there leading the charge, that would make a bit more sense. Well, but it just. I mean, they say he's a king. He's not. He's not interested. They keep on saying, you have to come back. You have to come back to the sea. You have to be king. And he's like, I've got to wear jumpers and drink booze in bars in Norway or whatever and rough people up.
It's a good fight.
And steal their money.
That was another thing, actually. Before we wrap it up, they're getting battered by Steppenwolf throughout most of the film.
Way better Steppenwolf, by the way.
Yeah, excellent.
Infinitely better. I like the fact that his suit's got like spikes and shit that come out.
It's all like reactive, isn't it? Which is real cool. But they're getting battered by him through most of the film. Superman comes in, fucking slogs in one. The second he gets up, Wonder Woman's just like, get the fuck out of here. She hits him, and then Aquaman gets like, why didn't you do this 3 hours ago?
Because now they're mates here. Now they can stand behind him going, yeah, bloody get him.
Hold me back.
But I tell you what,
hold me back.
Absolutely fucking, he's got him on the floor and he's just absolutely leathering him on the floor. And then he throws him back to Darkseid through that portal. And it's like, bloody
Aquaman.
Spears him. Sorry, yeah.
And
he's like, here, have him. And then Wonder Woman's like, no, I'm getting the last kick in here. So I'm just gonna pop his head off just as he goes flying through.
Ironically, no slow mo.
Yeah, there was.
Not when it went through.
His head's like traveling back because you see a.
Oh
sword.
no, it was slow. Yeah. Sorry,
mate. If you think if it was or wasn't slow motion,
it was.
Err on the side of it probably was because it probably was. 4 hours.
But that is very good though. But we're gonna wrap it up because this has been 2 hours. We've done half of
the length of the first Justice League film.
So stay tuned for part 2 where we discuss the font.
Mate. I don't want to watch this again for at least another 6 months.
I'll watch it again at some point. I think I would be interested to do see if I could do a cut and take a few bits out.
I did nearly make notes actually when I was watching it. Like Jeremy Irons, like it was just. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be Andy Serkis right now. That's all I'm going to say. Because like Michael Caine was a very good, wisdomy kind of Alfred,
he was a good father figure.
But Jeremy Irons seems like he actually knows what he's doing. It's just like, I can build you he knows what the deal is. Like, he doesn't just make tea.
Yeah.
He makes you shit work, mate.
Well, when he's doing the gauntlets and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just like, it was Bruce's idea, but...
Yeah.
Probably, I imagine it's because he's seen Wonder Woman's gauntlets.
Well, that's what she says, doesn't she? She's like, really?
Oh, did it?
And she's like, why don't you make him... he could do with a lasso as well, obviously in black.
But he comes in black, yeah. I'd like to see him with a black lasso, but he could just nick one from Catwoman, I suppose.
Yeah, so it's just a whip then, isn't it?
Yeah, but it doesn't make you tell the truth.
Makes you tell a lie.
No, he brings you right up close to him and then throttles you until you tell him what he wants to know.
Like, what's this? There's like a lasso with truth. And they're like, nothing's happening. And he's just like,
it's just like it's not working. And he looks up and he's just here. And he's like, oh God.
That'd be real good. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up there because we've done half of Justice League. I'm tired.
Just talking about this fucking film has done my back in.
Because we've had to carry it like Snyder had to carry it.
Heyo.
But no, it's very good if you haven't watched it. It's available on Sky over here. It's on HBO Max over in America and wherever else HBO Max is available. And I assume it will come to Amazon Prime and stuff at some point in the future.
I was thinking actually, because I think that Justice League went to Amazon.
I believe it was on Netflix as well at some point.
Yeah, but I think it was Amazon first, then went to Netflix, because I'm pretty sure there's still some of them on Netflix, or one or two of them maybe. No, I can't remember. It's been a while since I've had a look for them, but if you've got the opportunity to watch it, certainly try to. Yeah, but make sure that you've blocked out a certain period of time.
Make sure you're hydrated.
Because good grief, it's like watching a Lord of the Rings like special edition, and then another Lord of the Rings film after that that's not the special edition. Like it's a brutal slog.
Imagine if the cinemas was opened and they showed you Man of Steel, Batman v Superman extended cut, and then straight into Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I think you'd have to stay the night, wouldn't you?
Well, that'd be 4 or 6. You're probably looking at like 10 or 12 hours.
Yeah. You'd have to stay all night long. They'd give you a hammock and...
Then they showed the director's cut of Watchmen straight after.
Oh, that is not bad though.
I do like Watchmen. It's very good.
Actually, that's a good point, because Zack Snyder did Watchmen as well.
And 300.
Is he just trying to get... Are we going to get like a director's cut of Star Trek? It's just like, it's the 4-hour version that's got all the extra Star Trek.
It's got Luke Skywalker in
it. No! I tell you what, I was watching an episode of the X-Files. I've been watching so much X-Files, man. But there was actually a Luke Skywalker mention in an episode of the X-Files. Because this woman had got pregnant, and Mulder and Scully are like, so who's the father then? And she's like, oh, it's Luke Skywalker. And they were like, what? And Scully's like, oh, did he bring his lightsaber? And she was like, no, he didn't bring it with him. Like, he was like, duh, of course he didn't bring it with him. But then all I could think of was the fact that they actually mentioned, and they were like, so how many times have you actually watched Star Wars? And she was like, 396, but I'm hoping for like the big 400 by like whatever. So they're like, oh, okay, you're just crazy. Brilliant. But all I could think of, because obviously every time I see someone I recognize in the X-File, I send a picture of them to you. Yeah. I was just going, is Mark Hamill going to show up in the X-Files as Luke Skywalker? Even if it's just not actually, obviously not actually.
It's just a guy in like a dressing gown or something.
Yeah, but it was a guy who's like a shapeshifter, so he could have just turned into Mark Hamill and come in or whatever. They didn't, unfortunately.
Boo.
But I was just sort of like, that would have been like, because there's been like Ryan Reynolds and all these fucking actors that you'll just recognise from everything.
But at the time,
if Mark Hamill showed up no, definitely, he was in it for like 3 minutes and then he got hung from a cliff and killed.
No, but I mean, like, it's not like a Friends cameo where it's big name stars who are being paid a lot of money. This would have been them going, like,
this is their equivalent of the bill.
Pay me in Coca-Cola, like, I want an acting gig.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, most of them, they don't really seem to have much. And if anything, the ones for most of them, the ones that I recognise and go, oh, you've been into the films and things like that, it's usually like right at the start of the episode. Like Lucy Liu was in one, like, but they get killed almost immediately. Yeah. So it is almost like they've got a big cameo name in, and then like they're sort of like they're whatever you want to call it, because I can't think of the fucking term, but basically they would get a famous person in to come and do a thing and then kill them off.
Oh. Yeah.
So they would never be like, oh, it's a big name who's going to now be in charge of the FBI or whatever. It's just going to be who's going to be the person that we're going to have killed by an alien or whatever.
Maybe that was the thing back then. Maybe that was the cool thing. Like it was like it for a long time. It was, you're famous because you've made it onto The Simpsons. Maybe back then it was if you've been killed in the X-Files, you're going somewhere good.
I think that would be hindsight, because there's a lot of people that get killed in the X-Files, but not many of them I recognise.
Lucy Liu was a big name back then.
I don't know, because I had a look, because I was just like, is this like Ryan Reynolds' like first acting gig maybe? Because this was like 94, 95, something like that.
He did a lot of TV stuff.
He'd been in a couple of things beforehand, yeah, but that would have been the only one that you'd have recognised, I'd say. Well, he doesn't even look like Ryan Reynolds, really.
He did commercials, didn't he? I
did
remember that, yeah, like a... Isn't like a notorious...
I'll have a look for Lucy Liu.
Sunny Delight advert that he did.
Really?
Yeah.
No way. I didn't know that. I'll tell you what, 1968 Lucy Liu was born.
1968.
She's absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous.
She's like 20 years
So-
older than us. Not a little bit less.
She did something called Rhythm of Destiny, which is a Hong Kong drama, which obviously no one here would have ever seen. A short film called Protozoa.
Protozoa?
Yeah,
Never heard of it.
of course you haven't. Hercules: The Legendary Journeys.
With Kevin Sorbo.
I think that might be the Kevin Sorbo one. It is the Kevin Sorbo one. So that could very well be her first jump into like Western
That would have been the
animation.
first thing
Western,
we've seen her in.
probably. But she's in one episode, so I imagine that again that's a bit part.
She's probably got killed.
Something called Bang, where she's a hooker.
Never heard of it.
It's apparently it's a film that was made by the cousin of Sacha Baron Cohen. Crime drama, but she's her role. Well, someone called Ashley Baron Cohen, so them.
No.
But she plays hooker, so she doesn't have a name. So again, she's not a named person by this point. And then the next
That
thing
was the name, though.
is the X-Files.
That's not super big then.
But in the same film, in the same year, sorry, she got Jerry Maguire. So that probably would have been
That would have been a big role.
that would have been a big loss. She's actually got a name. Oh, no, actually, no, she's just called Former Girlfriend. Yikes. Woman
Look at
at
her now.
newsstand. Toy shop girl. There's a
Are these all
big
different
sort of
characters in Hooker?
no. Princess Pepe. Shanghai Noon. Of course.
I will say.
That was probably that would be a big break, I reckon. That's weird that she was in Shanghai Noon before she was in Charlie's Angels.
It's a bit weird.
And then it's obviously Kill Bill, and all of a sudden then it's like, oh my god.
I don't know if you'll hear this. I didn't think to get it set up on the Stream Deck to play it, so I'm just going to put it to the microphone. But it's a video with you can't see it, but you only need to hear it. This is a dildo and a guitar.
So they're playing Miseraloo, but with a dildo
vibrator.
doing the vibrato. Yeah,
It's very good.
very clever.
It's just because
And
you
then
said Kill
it's-
Bill, and I was like, that always reminds me of Kill Bill.
Why?
No reason. It just always does. I don't know why.
But it was from Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, 100%. Just always reminds me of Kill Bill.
Sounds like you're an idiot.
I mean, I am. I've never denied this fact.
Denied.
Anyway, let's go. 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's too long. It's too long, Dan.
It is, mate.
While I'm just skipping ahead on my buttons, you can wrap it up. Too late. I've already done it. It's going along the bottom now. So, if you want to see more, head over to www.podcastversusplayer.com. Check out more podcasts, let's plays, game shows, reviews, animations, lots of stuff. And there's also some things going across the bottom of the screen. It's right here. I can see it as we're talking, Dan. It's going along right there.
I can't.
Because you're stupid. I'm joking. Bye.